Hey vinyl community, hey new wavers, it's Shad with Vinyl New Wave, your inconsistent friend. I've just, life got busy. Second jobs and holidays and everything, and I just didn't feel like making a video. So sorry, but I'm making one now. This video is going to be kind of a catch-all of everything that has made its way into my collection, mostly purchases, but a couple other things. Between October and December, October, November, December, excluding the record store day drop from October and some of the newer new wave stuff that was in my last video. Some of that had come in October and November as well, but everything else that has been kind of waiting and sitting in my recent incoming bin for me to do a video on. So I'm doing one now. First up, well, let's get right into it. I've got a pretty big stack here, more of the records than I normally show. So let's get going. First up is the re-release, a highly anticipated re-release of a very classic album, and that is The Seeds of Love from Tears for Fears. This is the picture disc version of it. There's the back. Beautiful, beautiful picture disc. Really pretty well done. I love this, and normally if there's a picture disc option, I pass. I'm not a huge fan of picture discs. However, with this particular album, I own picture discs for all of the 12 inches that were released from this album. So Sowing the Seeds of Love, Woman in Chains, Famous Last Words, and Advice for the Young at Heart all had picture disc releases on 12-inch single back when they were first released. And so I thought that a perfect accompaniment to those would be a picture disc of the album. And so I ordered that. I pre-ordered that because it was an exclusive to Universal Music Group and the Tears for Fears website. I think some of them have leaked out into other channels at this point, but they're still pretty limited. They're still hard to find. Got it home and I listened to it. I didn't buy it to listen to. I bought it to display. I always intended to buy a copy on black vinyl, and I did. And I'm glad I did, because the actual picture disc, like most picture discs, just has all kinds of surface noise and sounds like garbage. Next up is an album that I had wanted for quite some time and had a hard time finding. I don't think the initial, back when it was first released, it got a ton of vinyl issues because it was in 1990, I think. It is the Confessions of a Knife album from My Life with the Thrill Kill Cult. Really great album. I don't have a whole lot of these guys, and I don't know why, because I really like it. I actually saw them live a couple years ago, and they were really great. But yeah, great songs on here, like Days of Swine and Roses and Cooler Than Jesus and Confessions of a Knife. Yeah, anyways, really great album. This is the 30th anniversary reissue. It came out on several different options. One of them being this, what they called Hellfire vinyl. It's red, and it's really faint, but there's some smokiness to it, and then also there's a little bit of orange in there. But yeah, it's a great album. They had a version that came on silver, and then they had a picture disc, the 12-inch. They had this big bundle, and it was like over $100, and I wasn't going to spend over $100 on it, so so I just bought that one. Next up is Record Store Day itself, the Black Friday Record Store Day. I thought I had showed all these records before, but I obviously didn't because I hadn't even made a video since then. So these are the records that I picked up on Record Store Day. Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. First up, the Stranglers, Peaches. I don't know why, but I didn't see this one on the initial list. But wow, it's a great compilation of all of the Stranglers, the best hits by the Stranglers. A really, really solid compilation, 2 LP. For some strange reason, I thought it was going to be on peach vinyl, which would have been cool, but it's just black. Great release from the Stranglers. Next up, Motorhead's Ace of Spades, probably like the 400th different release of the Ace of Spades, but my first Motorhead record. For some reason, the Motorhead stuff usually is just not, it goes quick when it comes in, and so I never have picked it up, but I wanted this one, so I grabbed it. 12-inch single of the Ace of Spades. I think it was on red vinyl, and it's got a little ornament thing, and then the cover is kind of cool. It's from an autographed poster by those guys. But yeah, Motorhead. Next up is U2's Boy album, 40th anniversary. This one, yeah, 40th anniversary. I initially wasn't going to pick this one up. It's on white vinyl, pretty generic white vinyl, but I wasn't going to pick it up, but I'm glad I did because this is actually a very good pressing. It sounds amazing. It's just clean and crisp. I do have an original copy of Boy, but it's so beat up. There's so many cracks and pops, and this just sounds amazing. So I'm glad that I'm glad that I picked that up. Next up is the one that I really wanted. It is Fountains of Wayne, Welcome Interstate Managers. What a great album. Stacy's Mom is just an amazing song. I love that song, and I know a lot of people kind of like me, but I don't know. It kind of captures that adolescent boy crush on adult women perfectly to me. I love it. So, so I had to have it, and it was just never really, this album was never available on vinyl. So, so I was glad that they released it, and it's a great, great album. I've listened to it several times already, and I'm just so happy that they released that. Whilst doing my rounds on Record Store Day, I go to usually 3 stores, sometimes more on Record Store Day usually. So while I was doing my rounds, I ended up picking up a few used items as well out of the used bins. First one being Feargal Sharkey's debut solo album with the hit single A Good Heart. But this whole album, I'd never heard this whole album before. I'd heard Good Heart like a million times, right? But the rest of the album is actually very, very good. I was very impressed. And this copy is in really good shape, so I was glad to pick that up. Then next, a copy of Mark Almond's The Stars We Are. One of my all-time favorite albums by one of my all-time favorite artists. A great album. I never had it on vinyl. I've only had it on CD and maybe cassette. But yeah, it was there in the bin, and so I picked it up. They are doing a re-release of this later this month. They're doing a deluxe version with a 2 LP set that's got some bonus tracks and stuff. I might buy it, the remastered version, because it's, like I said, it's one of my all-time favorite songs, or all-time favorite albums. If I can find it for under 50 bucks. Amazon's is like asking 50 bucks for it, and I don't want to pay 50 bucks for it. So we'll see what happens with that, but stay tuned. Mark Almond, The Stars We Are. Next up was Bananarama's Deep Sea Skiving. Early album from Bananarama featuring Shy Boy. He was really saying something. Nana, hey, hey, goodbye. Kiss him goodbye. Yeah, this is a good classic early Bananarama album. It was like $5 or something. It was a good deal. In my last Record Store Day Drops video, someone had said that they were surprised that I did not pick up this one. And I didn't at the time, but as I was going through the bins on Record Store Day on Black Friday, this one was there. So I grabbed it. Great album, Suede. Next up, some stuff from early December. I had, I've mentioned this before, but I'm actually quite active on Instagram. I try to post almost every day, just a shot of what I'm listening to. I've got my record player here in my office, and I'm spinning vinyl every day while I'm working. So anyways, one of the guys that I'm friends with on Instagram had posted a picture of this album that he had just picked up, and I had commented and said, "Oh, I love that album. It's still on my want list." And he offered to send it to me, some VCLT, so if you will. So Adam on Instagram, thank you very much for this copy of Midnight Oils 10-9-8-7-5-6-4-3-2-1. Great album by the Oils. Geez, I love the Oils. I've got this. I have Blue Sky Mining, and I have Diesel and Dust. Actually, I only have it on CD. I don't have it on vinyl yet. But yeah, these guys just power and the passion, and yeah, just man, Screamin' Blue, just really great rock songs. So thank you, Adam, for this. I really enjoy it. Listened to it a couple times already. December comes, and I'm looking for presents for my kids. I've got a couple of my kids now that have gotten into vinyl. And so I was at the record store looking for something for them. And I was flipping through the used bin, and this just happened to be sitting there. Silicon Teens. I was kind of blown away. I have never seen this in the wild before. So I had to grab it, and it was reasonably priced. I think it was like $7 or $8. And it's in immaculate condition. It was a radio promo. It's stamped on here, promo copy only. And the radio station had decided that it would emblazon its call sign across the front of the cover. But other than that, it plays perfect. It's amazing. So, Silicon Teens. Now, if you're not familiar with Silicon Teens, it's Eric Radcliffe, who did work with Yaz and some other guys. Kind of brain farting at the moment, but yeah, just really, really great early electronic sounds. A lot of the songs on here are like covers of other tunes and stuff. Like Do What Diddy and stuff like that. But and You Really Got Me, Babe, You Really Got Me Going, but like a cool synthesizer version of it. Silicon Teens, check it out. It's a really great album. Also, while I was doing some Christmas shopping, I stopped by the 50% off bin. And, you know, I mean, a lot of times 50% off newer stuff is not going to be that great, but came up with Aha, Minor Earth, Major Sky. This is their an album from the early 2000s that just in the last couple of years was released on vinyl for the first time. And apparently they wanted to get rid of it. So still sealed, 50% off. So I picked that up. That was a great deal. And I had never heard this album before. This is a new album for me, and I love it. It's a great, great album. And in that same pile, Morrissey, California Sun. This is his latest album from last year. It might have been in 2019, late 2019 release. It's all covers. It's all cover songs. And you know what? And they're not bad. They're not bad at all. I was impressed. Usually with Morrissey's newer stuff, I kind of am like, but it was actually really good. And that one came on this nice dark blue vinyl. Whooped Christmas. We're moving right along here. My kids at Christmas time, Dad, we don't know what to get you. And I had created this big old long list of stuff on, wish list on Amazon, and like not hardly any of it was records. I had stuff that I wanted for records, like cleaning brushes and stuff like that. But one of my daughters picked up this gem for me. It's 9 Inch Nails. Their debut album, Pretty Hate Machine. There's a couple different pressings of this one floating around. This one is reissued by the Bicycle Music Group. This is the one that like Trent Reznor doesn't love, but supposedly it's like closest sonically to the original. I like it. I was glad to pick it up. I was glad that she bought it. It was on my wish list. It was on my Amazon wish list, and so she grabbed it for me, and I appreciate it because I love this album. It's another one that I had on CD forever, but I have all the 12-inch singles, so I'm glad to add that to my vinyl collection. And then, as we were going through looking for Christmas gifts at the Barnes and Noble for my kids, I saw this and I had to have it. So I convinced my wife to let me purchase this for myself for Christmas, and that is Alphaville, the Forever Young album. Sorry, my hand is Forever Young. A classic new wave tune by the German band Alphaville. It comes on this really nice orange vinyl. It sounds amazing. It was a really great reissue. I'm glad they picked it up. Glad I grabbed it, because it's another hole, fills another hole. I've never owned that album ever. I've owned 12-inch singles and things like that, but and 7-inch singles, but I've never had that whole album. So even on CD, so I was really happy to pick that up. Next up was while we were there, I saw this album. But I didn't go and pick it up until the week after Christmas. I'd earned some pretty good money doing my second job the week of Christmas, between Christmas and New Year's. And so I went back and picked up a few new things, and one of them was this. It is the Duran Duran debut album. self-titled. This in Europe was released as a, I think, album day or whatever it was called in Europe, but Barnes & Noble has it here as an exclusive. So it's the debut album with a bonus disc of extended versions and things, and it's on this nice white vinyl. So Duran Duran, can always add to the Duran Duran collection. In between Christmas and New Year's, Barnes & Noble puts all of their stuff that they have normally on like a 25% discount. They put it on 50% discount. Last year I went a little nuts. They had a lot of stuff in the racks that I wanted, so I grabbed all those. This time they had a few that I picked up. Looks like 3. First one is the Sex Pistols. Never mind the Bullocks. Here's the Sex Pistols. I've never owned this album either. To be honest, Johnny Rotten's voice is like nails on a chalkboard to me, but I mean, this is kind of punk 101, right? You kind of got to have it if you say that you like punk. So 50% off. It was like $8. Can't pass that up. Next up was the double live album from The Replacements. The Replacements for sale live at Maxwell's. A nice, good live set by the Replacements. I'd never heard a lot of these songs before. I don't have a ton of Replacements in my collection, so I was really happy to hear. Pick it up, and there's a lot of great songs on, I Will Dare and Kiss Me on the Bus, and all their big hits, but then some of the other stuff that's not as well known, and I really enjoyed it. Really, it was a good listen. And I'm not normally a big live music fan. I think I've mentioned that before. And finally, a record that I actually passed on in the 50% on sale last year. They still had it, and it was 50% off again. So I picked it up. It was the soundtrack to Batman Forever. Really an amazing soundtrack. U2, PJ Harvey, Seal, Kiss from a Rose, everybody knows that song. Massive Attack with Tracy Thorn from Everything But the Girl, Mazzy Star, The Offspring, Nick Cave, Method Man, Michael Hutchence from INXS has a cover of The Passenger, the Iggy Pop tune. A really, really great soundtrack. So that brings us up to New Year's. That's all the stuff that I bought between October and December. So thanks for watching. I know it was long, probably really long. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Please thumbs up. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, please. And I will try to be a little more consistent on videos here over the next little while. I've got several ideas. I've got one that I'm actually going to kind of issue a challenge out to you on, so be prepared for that if you're still watching. But anyways, thanks for watching. Have a good time. And until next time, remember, you spin me around like a record, baby.